Ever feel like, we're just constantly plugged in?
Mm-hmm.
Well, today's deep dive is going to throw us right into that world.
Yeah.
Except in SyneMitchell's Technogenesis, it's not just a feeling, it's like
Yeah.
their reality, right?
It is.
So we're going to be jumping into some excerpts from her book, Technogenesis,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of uncover what makes this future both, I don't know, alluring and unsettling at the same time.
Yeah, and what Mitchell does so well is she places us in this world where the internet, or as it's called in the book, the net, has become so integrated into like daily life that it's practically an extension of the human mind, you know?
Like, it's scary how accurate that could be, right?
Exactly.
And our window into all of this is Jasmine Reese, and she
Yeah.
is like a top engineer at Infotech, totally in her element, navigating this crazy hyper-connected world.
She's not just comfortable with the technology, she thrives on it. You know what I mean? Everything from work to social interactions, even like just simple transactions, it all flows through the net. It's almost as if her reliance on this connection, this constant connection, mirrors our own growing dependence on the internet today, but it's just magnified 1,000-fold.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's fascinating, but also a little bit unnerving how she portrays that dependence. And then, bam, we hit this pivotal moment where Jasmine's data mask malfunctions.
Right.
And for those who haven't read it yet, the data mask is basically this device that connects people to the net.
Right.
It's like their phone, right?
Yeah, it's like their lifeline.
It's like their lifeline to this world.
Exactly, yeah.
And suddenly she is thrust offline and forced to experience the world through her own physical senses.
It's rough, yeah. It's like sensory overload in its most jarring form, I think.
Yeah.
Because she's so used to this filtered reality.
The way that she describes it, the city's noise and the crowds, the feeling of being bombarded by all this information that she's no longer filtering through the net, it makes you realize how reliant she had become on that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Imagine, like, if you relied on noise-canceling headphones every single day.
Oh, yeah.
And then suddenly you had to face the world without them.
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
You know, that's the level of disconnect we're talking about here.
Oh.
It's not just sensory overload that's jarring. It's that isolation that follows it, you know?
Right. It's like she becomes a ghost. Like you said, a ghost in her own world. Everyone's still plugged in, moving at this frenetic pace, but she's stuck in this like slow, disconnected reality.
Exactly. And this is where Mitchell introduces this, like, I think, brilliant juxtaposition.
Okay.
Jasmine ventures out into the city, and she encounters what are known as the Phoebes, right?
The feeds. Okay.
And essentially, these are people who, for various reasons, are not connected to the net.
So they're on the outside looking in.
Yeah, they've become this almost like forgotten underclass in this hyper-connected society.
Yeah, that's an interesting like consequence of this world.
Yeah.
That I don't know, it's kind of, we see it today, but she really takes it to an extreme.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so it's a stark reminder that even though technology seems like it's connecting us, it can also like really divide us.
Exactly. And, you know, it's from one of these Phoebes that Jasmine receives this cryptic warning about something called the Beast.
Ooh.
This mysterious entity that's watching everyone through the net.
Okay, I'm getting chilled. So this warning, delivered in hushed tones, is like our first real clue that things aren't as like utopian as they seem in this world.
Yeah, it's like this seed of doubt that's planted in Jasmine's mind.
Yeah.
It makes her question, you know, the very technology that she's always relied on.
And this search for information, this need to understand the beast, leads her down this rabbit hole of just unsettling discoveries, right?
Yeah.
About the net's influence and the lengths that people will go to suppress dissenting voices. So Jasmine's left with this like unsettling feeling, right?
Yeah.
That something is wrong. Like this sense that the connected world isn't the utopia it's like made out to be.
Well, it's like, you know, when you start to question the very reality you've always known. And for Jasmine, this questioning, it leads to a pretty fascinating discovery, I think, about herself and others.
Right. This is where we get into the whole naturals thing.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So as Jasmine's, you know, digging deeper into this mystery surrounding the beast that we talked about, she stumbles upon others who have this, like, natural ability to connect to the net.
Okay.
Like, they don't need the data masks or any kind of interface. Mitchell calls them naturals.
So they're like, what? They just have like built-in Bluetooth.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Like imagine it's like their minds are connecting directly to this vast network without any external device.
Oh, that's wild.
And this discovery is huge for Jasmine, you know?
Yeah.
It's not just that she's not alone, but it opens up this whole new can of worms, right?
Yep. Yeah.
About the net itself, about its origins, its connection to human consciousness even,
So, okay, remember that, like, creepy warning about the beast watching?
right?
Well, it gets even weirder because Jasmine, she actually, like, experiences this entity firsthand.
This is where Mitchell, I think, really, like, kicks it up a notch.
Okay.
The beast, it's revealed to be Gestalt, this sentient consciousness that has emerged from the interconnected minds of, well, everyone on the net.
It's like the internet became self-aware.
Yeah, exactly. And no one saw it coming except maybe, you know, a few Phoebes whispering in back alleys.
That's terrifying. Okay, so Jasmine, those initial suspicions that she had are confirmed, but then what does she do? What does Gestalt want? Is it good? Is it bad? Can anything be done about it?
Well, those are the million-dollar questions.
Right.
And this is where Dr. John Orley enters the picture. Right?
Okay, yes.
This is her, like, he's the rogue scientist, and she ends up forming this uneasy alliance with him. So Dr. Orley, he's been studying Gestalt for years, trying to, like, understand it, you know, its capabilities, its intentions. But what makes Orley so interesting, I think, is that he represents this duality of, like, scientific progress, you know?
What do you mean?
Well, on the one hand, he's brilliant, obviously.
Right.
He's driven by this desire to understand this new form of intelligence, right?
Yeah.
He believes that humans and Gestalt can coexist, that we can, like, learn from each other.
Okay.
But, and this is a big but, his methods are, shall we say, questionable. He pushes boundaries, ethical boundaries, in this pursuit of knowledge and, let's be honest, control.
He's not afraid to, like, get his hands dirty a little bit,
No, not at all.
especially when it comes to, you know, messing with the human mind to achieve his goals.
Exactly. And that's what makes him so, I don't know, fascinating and terrifying at the same time.
Oh, absolutely.
You never quite know where you stand with him. And it's that moral complexity that Mitchell brings to Orley that I think makes the story so compelling, you know? Because he's not a straightforward villain. He's got layers, but his actions have, you know, serious consequences. And then, of course, we find out Jasmine isn't just working on her own, you know what I mean?
Right.
It turns out she's on a secret mission for the NSA. They've tasked her with infiltrating Orley's group
Oh,
to basically spy on him.
Oh, man. So now she's caught between, what, like, the NSA, an organization that represents the very control that she's questioning, and this guy who's, yeah, his methods are really sus, but he might be the only one who can actually do something about this.
It's the classic dilemma, right? The ends justifying the means. And it's a tough one for Jasmine. She's stuck between a rock and a hard place, forced to make these decisions that could have, like, devastating consequences.
Just Jasmine's got this impossible choice, right?
Yeah.
Like, her loyalty to Orly and this mission for the NSA.
Yeah.
What happens? I mean, does she pick a side?
She does.
Yeah.
It leads to this, oh man, it's a heart-stopping climax. Jasmine, she decides to betray the NSA. Yeah, she decides that, you know, they want control over Gestalt, and that's a way bigger threat than anything Orley's cooking up.
Yeah, that's a big decision, knowing what the NSA, like, what they could do.
Oh, absolutely. And Mitchell, she doesn't shy away from those tough choices, you know? Like Jasmine, she's driven by her conscience, right?
Yeah.
She understands what Gestalt really is, and she believes that Orley, he might be humanity's only hope.
Wow. So is she able to warn Orly and his team?
She tries to. It doesn't exactly go as planned.
Oh, no.
Remember Harridge?
The NSA guy?
Yeah, the one running Jasmine. You do not want to cross that guy.
Right.
He catches on to what she's doing, and that's when things get really real.
Okay, so this is where the action is.
Oh, yeah. Mitchell, she delivers this, like, this whole sequence. Jasmine, Orley, his team, they're on the run from the NSA.
Oh, wow.
And they're trying to stay one step ahead of Gestalt, which is, you know, now it knows.
Oh, man. The stakes have never been higher. So we've got, like, a three-way battle here.
Pretty much.
Jasmine, Orly, the NSA, and a sentient internet that's reading everyone's minds. So how does it end?
It's a close one. There are losses, you know, all around.
Yeah.
But Orley and his team, they managed to use their countermeasure, Symbiose.
Symbiose, okay.
Yeah, it's designed to disrupt Gestalt, to give people back their, you know, their minds, their autonomy.
So do they win? They stop the Gestalt?
It's not that simple. Symbiose, it works, but let's just say there's a cost.
Okay, what happens?
Some of Orley's team, they don't come out of it right. Some brain damage from that psychic backlash. It's intense.
And Jasmine, what about her?
She makes it, but, she's got her own scars, a constant reminder of what it took to fight, to fight both the NSA and Gestalt.
So it's like, what a bittersweet victory. I don't know. It's heavy.
Yeah, it's definitely a Pyrrhic victory. They stopped the NSA, they disrupted Gestalt, but at a huge cost, like you said.
Man.
And this is where Mitchell, she leaves us with this powerful message. Jasmine, she realizes that, yeah, Symbios is gone, but the fight isn't over. Gestalt is out there, but it can be resisted.
I don't know, that's hopeful. But it leaves you thinking.
It does. And that's the brilliance of technogenesis, It makes you think about the choices we make, about technology, about control, and what it means to be human in this, increasingly connected world.
Absolutely. It really makes you question everything. Well, folks, that's Technogenesis. A wild ride, a little scary, definitely thought-provoking. If you haven't already, check it out. And until next time, keep those data masks secure.